was a 10-year time jump.
Yeah.
Was that the case?
I already missed the two younger actresses.
I do.
They were so good.
Yeah,
the new ones
yeah.
are good, but it's just
The new ones are good, but
it's a bummer.
they're not as good as the kids.
Yeah.
All right, so man, okay, so originally, when I was like, oh man, they're gonna switch up the actors that are gonna be playing Alicent and Rhaenyra, I was originally like bummed out because I like Alicent and I especially like Rhaenyra, and originally I did not like some of how they looked in some of the promos, but then when I saw them act, I'm like, okay, all right, like you changed my mind for sure. Like these characters are actually really good at what they did.
Yep.
And but yeah, what are your thoughts on this past episode? Like holy crap, this episode was really good. Like I really like this episode. You can completely see like Kristen Cole went like a 180 for like Rhaenyra.
Yes,
it's crazy. What are your thoughts, Grae?
Yeah, it's really good. It's like, oh crap! I think the cast doubled in size. It's like, holy wow, so many children! My God! It's like in the beginning, it's like, who's this kid? Who's this kid? They didn't. We don't even
love how inbred they all look.
Yeah. Who's like okay? I need to find out the name of this kid because like they didn't even mention the name first. Like Aemon, the second kid, like he was never even mentioned in the prior episodes. Only that he existed because Alicent was also pregnant when Aegon celebrated his second birthday. We only get to see the second kid now, who doesn't have the dragon. Yeah, that's gonna play a big role later on for sure. Excited for that because for sure his rationality or the choices he's gonna make is based on that decision. Especially given his older brother is mocking him that he doesn't have one. Like they brought out a pig placed with wings. That's your dragon.
That won't come back to bite anyone of harassing someone who might get a dragon in the future.
Yeah, like for me, I thought that was fucked up. Like especially like for me, I'm considered in terms of my my original three, right? Like so it's my older sister, myself, and then my younger brother. I do have a younger brother, but that's from a different my mother married someone else and had my younger brother. But I would consider myself a middle child, and usually in terms of that, you have the oldest child gets like majority of like the first like the good stuff, right? And then and it's like the first child is usually like babied more or more like taken care of is because the parents don't know what to do. This is the first child, they don't know what to do, so they want to make sure they raise it correctly. The second child, on the other hand, the parents like I already went through this, I already know what to do, and you're gonna have all the hand-me-downs, all the leftovers. No one fucking really cares about you. And then the last child, which is the baby, that one gets spoiled. So
because the parents now have money, because as they progress in their careers.
It's so the crazy thing is like I felt exactly like how Aemon felt because like my older sister, she got a new car, and then I was told that like everyone in the family, all the boys in the family gets a used like beat up cars because boys tend to get into more car accidents than girls, and they want the girls to have a more secure vessel when they're driving, like a newer up to date stuff. That was all agreed upon. So I got like a a really crappy car when I turned 18, and then my brother, who's a year younger than me, got a new car, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, how's this fair? Like you set this, but you completely went 180 with this. It's like you set this, and then so I'm not gonna get one. Like so like I was extremely pissed off. So when this happened to Aemon, I felt his sadness and how he felt betrayed, and the fact that the people who actually did this is his family.
Yeah.
So I completely related to this, but man, it's that scene, Grae, it hurt. It stung a little bit.
Yeah, it's the middle child syndrome for sure.
Yeah,
that's why. Yeah, I'm kind of digging that too. There's a lot of things happened this episode.
I'm the youngest. I got all the goodies.
Yeah,
but man, it's I do hope what Aemon's sort of his sort of arc goes is, do you remember the scene where like Tyrion went down to the crypt and like where they kept all our dragons, and he sort of did the you know, the How to Train Your Dragon thing where he touches
Yep.
one of the
Lay on
dragons.
hands.
Yeah. And I know that like I'm pretty sure they have a bunch of other dragons down there. Maybe, I'm not sure, but I thought that like, well, at least I hope that he goes down there and gets one. In my opinion, like he has to, like he.
Well, but aren't they
and-
all taking, aren't they all quote unquote owned? Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think there's any free range dragons down there.
not. Yeah, go ahead, Grae. Go ahead.
Yeah. So there was a scene not long afterwards when after Aemon was mocked. He actually went down there. Do you remember? He actually went down there. He went down there to
And
check
got
on.
chased out.
Yeah, he got chased out by the dragon. It's like he was trying to. He was looking for a dragon there. Like, oh, there's a dragon here. So he was trying to approach it, but the dragon breathed fire right away to him. So he ran back up. Then he got caught by one of the guards. Then the guards brought him to Alicent. That's how Aemon told Alicent the story that my big brother was and Rhaenyra's son were mocking me that I don't have a dragon. That's how it came to be. That's how Alicent found out about it. Alicent. That's how it went. Then
and then the next scene it sort of goes to the next scene where Alicent goes to his.
Yeah, they didn't need that scene in there. Although I guess it kind of shows just how depraved the kids are.
yeah.
They are. I mean, I think this is one of the books I haven't read. I think. I mean, remember, I think they said on Game of Thrones that you either have a saint or a murderer every other Targaryen. So I think we're seeing a couple murderers here.
Oh yeah.
Just absolute sociopaths. He's basically doing what what's the guy from The Boys who did the same thing on the building?
Homelander?
Yeah, Homelander. Remember he did that at the end of season 2?
Yeah. He was literally masturbating on top of the tower. But yeah,
flashbacks.
It's good. I actually the first child they're the strictest. The second abandoned. The last is baby. I would say that the strictest, but they're also like coddled the most too, is because it was their first. But yeah.
Especially for Aemon, you can see that he's the spoiled one of the bunch. Especially given that scene, when he was masturbating. And Alicent was like, Alicent being more mature, being actually more like his dad. So it's like, what happened to her 2 episodes back, she's doing it now to her son in this scene. Like, remember Otto Tower telling her, because you sided with Rhaenyra, you are in danger. You and your children are in danger. So it's the scene is the same thing. It's kind of like the part where Aemon was jacking off in the window. It's like it kind of elaborates how
it's Aegon, right? Is it Aegon?
Aegon, sorry, yeah, Aegon. Aemon is the middle child. Aegon was doing it on the window. Alicent was like I think that scene was to show that how tone deaf and out of place he is. So I think that was kind of necessary. So it's like Alicent was holding up to his face, you are a threat. You are gonna die if you don't take things seriously. So it's kind of like reminiscent to Otto to her back when Otto was about to leave. Yeah.
The crazy thing is that like she wasn't even shocked that he was doing that. It's like that means he does it all the fucking time. I wonder. I'll feel bad for a person who's like literally like downstairs. Like, what the hell is these bird droppings hitting me?
Yeah, so I kind of like show that Alicent was the more mature. She's matured the past 10 years. It's like playing the Game of Thrones. Like, you are in danger simply because you exist.
Right.
Simply because you exist, you are no matter how incompetent you are, no matter how dumb you are still a threat to the throne. And every chance, the moment that Rhaenyra steps into the throne, you are gonna get killed.
Yeah, it's like a lion pride. The lion, the new lion takes over, kills all the old cubs.
Man,
so hey, Phil, did you watch this episode with Kat at all?
Yes, I did.
What was her reaction to the walk up the stairs? I don't want to give things away too much. At the beginning, after the birth. Because that I think that whole sequence I think would hit women much more viscerally than we could ever imagine.
Yeah. So like the beginning of the episode starts off like she's giving birth, right? Like Rhaenyra is giving birth.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is like the queen would like to see the baby, and he's like, no, and if he because she knows like if like we're not sure what she's gonna do with the baby, but she's probably just checking to see is your kid blonde,
Yeah.
and no, all her kids are like brunette, so
With
like,
curly
the
hair.
part where it's just like where she walks out and it's like, here comes the afterbirth, and if you're wearing headphones, you're screwed. It's because you
Oh
hear
yeah, that
all
was not good.
and so you have that, and then of course like she's literally like walking, and then you see her walking up the stairs, like literally like in physical pain. You could tell that she's literally like holding everything in, trying not to look weak in front of her subjects, and potentially like she's going to be queen one day, so she's trying not to look weak. And then the fact that like later on she walks away and there's like a trail of blood.
Yep.
It's just like, holy crap. It's just like,
I was hunched over, and that could never happen to me, so I can't even imagine, as a woman who's had a child, what that must viscerally just reach into them and just squeeze.
Yeah, it's definitely hard.
Do you know in the mythology of the series, to own a dragon, do you have to be a pureblood Targaryen to have the white hair? Is she basically limiting her heirs to not being able to ride dragons? Like, have there ever been in the show been dragon owners who didn't have the white hair?
So we do know that. You have the what's it called again? Sir Laenor and Laena was able to ride dragons, but they are half, right? I believe.
Yeah, they're kind. So maybe partially would suffice. I'm not sure either. I'm not sure if how the lore is with regard to the ability to ride a dragon or to tame a dragon.
And they have a somewhat fire resistance, which kind of shocked me when the woman was able to be burned by dragon breath. I thought they had fire resistance. Remember?
I heard not all. Well,
not all.
Somewhere, not everyone is like fire resistant. I believe Viserys, I think
the
that's
one
his
in
name.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
the one in Game of Thrones. He died by the melted gold by Khal Drogo. So he wasn't resistant to heat.
Yeah. So
but his sister could stand in a bonfire.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So it's I think it's random.
So it's plot armor, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
When we need the character to live, they can survive fire. When we want them to die, they don't.
Yeah. What are you guys' thoughts on what happened with Daemon and Laena?
That was sad.
Yeah, I saw it coming with them getting married and having children based on episode 5, because like they were flirting with each other already in the festivities. But I felt that Laena could have been more. That's what I feel. Like I was expecting, just because she failed a birth of a child. I don't know, maybe to her great shame. Like, oh no, I failed to give birth to one of our children, so I want to die. I don't know if that was really their mental state, but yeah, it was kind of sudden that her death was kind of. I was expecting more.
Yeah,
but
she's a great actress.
Yeah, I really like her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the thing.
Okay. I think they were setting it up in such a way that they're setting up Daemon to be in such a way that it's for him to marry again someone else to get even more power. I think they're setting up Daemon to be such a way he's so power hungry that he wants to grab more territory, grab more opportunities every instance they can get. That's why they had to kill off Laena early. But otherwise, I like Laena. Even it was like she was kind of being like Daemon's anchor. Like, I want to go home. My children deserve to be raised back home. But yeah, Daemon, with his absolute thirst for power, he wanted to get Pentos too, since he was taking up on the guy's offer. Like, we'll give you money, we'll give you land, as long as you side with us. That's basically his offer.
Right.
So I think it's so means for Daemon to go down on that path. That's why they killed Laena. That's what I think.
Another thing about Laena's death is it Laena or Lena? Once again, horrible names.
I think it's Laena.
Laena. once again, I'm not a woman, so I can't put myself directly into that experience, but I just can't imagine a woman carrying the child for 9 months who wants to give birth to it, that knows it's probably alive, just not coming out right, to say, okay, I'm dying, it's dying with me. You know,
Yeah.
I know she wanted to die a dragon rider's death, but it's like, wow, you know, that I just can't fathom that happening. You know,
Mhm.
wouldn't you want to give the last essence of who you are a chance and then maybe hop in front of the flame? So
Yeah.
I don't know. As
Like
as I said, not I'll never be in that position, so I can't really judge either way.
I I felt really I like I think like most of you said, like I actually really liked her. Like I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see more of her. You know, like Gray mentioned, like yeah, she was his anchor, and the fact I'm like, oh no, like I was hoping that she was fireproof, at least a little bit. You know,
Hmm.
like maybe she wouldn't die or something like that. But then the fact that like she died, and you can tell like was it Vagar, which is like with the girthiest dragon, like he was like, I don't want to do this, you know, like I
Hmm.
don't want to burn you. You're my owner, you know, like and it's just man, it was sort of heartbreaking, like seeing that. I'm just like, oh, that sucks. That definitely sucks. And it's and then like you can tell that Damon, like even though he didn't say a word, like just on Matt Smith's face, like you can see like he's in pain. He's like
Hmm.
I like this is the person that I actually like. I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure he loved her. And it's like, this is a person I loved. I had kids with her, and like this sucks. This fucking sucks. You know, like and it's such a crazy episode. And then you have it's just like her kids seeing like what happened, and it's just like no, and like I was just hoping with a glimmer of chance that might survive.
Right.
So we have someone in chat says, yes, I didn't understand why she sacrificed herself to end her unborn child. At first, I thought maybe she stepped into somehow to help her unborn child. Overall, I didn't understand that decision. Yeah,
Yep.
I definitely don't either. Like I know that most and most mothers from at least from TV and stuff like that, and they if they would rather sacrifice themselves and have the unborn child live
Yeah.
Yes.
than that. Like
That's why
at
I
least from
said
what I know.
I just couldn't understand that. I'll never be able to get myself into that mindset because it's something that
Mhm,
I never even will have to think about in my life.
Yeah.
But from
mhm.
everything I know about the animal kingdom, it's like there's such a protective instinct for most people. It was like, as I said, I agree. I was thinking, oh, she's going to burn herself away, but maybe in Euro the baby's alive and on the ground or something like that. And it was like
Mhm.
when they showed the burning skeletons, like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
not so
Completely
much.
burned. No. Yeah. So I think I think it was not an easy decision for the showrunners to do something like that because yeah, as I said earlier, I the best reason that I could think of is they're trying to build to set Damon to a particular path, to a power hungry path. That's why they had to get rid of her early. I think they
It,
found this as a means to do so.
in some respects, it's kind of cheap also because they already killed someone off like that to do
Yeah,
the exact same type of kill off, but maybe they're saying, she was able to take herself out on her own terms rather than a man's terms. Of saying,
yeah,
she didn't want to wait for Damon to say cut her open.
yeah,
She wanted to go out on her own terms. So I could see that, you know, but to have two characters, and I know childbirth before hospitals and all that was very dangerous.
mhm.
Just two very well cared for, very well fed, you know, for the time people having that happen to. It's just it bends credulity a little bit.
Yeah. It's what's it called again? Like for me, I'm just thinking about, oh, they don't have modern medicine. Like the only thing that I can see them having is like, oh, bring the milk of the poppy, and like
Yeah,
that can like ease the pain. But
but
it's just
how
like
often is a breech birth like that though in the
it's
in the human population?
I from according to what I know, I believe it's like 25%.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's valid then. Maybe it's valid.
Yeah. So and the thing is that like of course like with like modern medicine and like knowing like the patterns of like giving birth and stuff like that, like the woman would have to like usually do like specific stretches, like sort of like have their stomach hang to
Mhm.
make sure like the baby flips, right? Like
Hmm.
I recently have to like go through that to make sure like the baby is flipped.
Mhm.
And we like I was nervous, you know, like I was nervous, like I was like, oh man, like what happens if like the baby is breached, you know, we have to get a C-section, which is, you know, it's fine with modern medicine with the whole stitching and you won't your majority of the time you're either numbed or asleep during that time. But back then they didn't have any of that. So it's just,
Well, they
you
did,
know,
you just didn't survive it.
yeah. But yeah, man, it's like, and the thing is that this is only like two parts of like what's happening with the show. Like we still have a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff
But
like
those are the things that really lock into your brain, though. Those are the
yeah,
ones that you're just they seared into your head.
yeah, for sure. I do. What are your guys' thoughts on the um how um how Allison's characters changed alongside with Kristen Cole? Like, do you think it's like it's? Do you think Rhaenyra deserved their hatred and their sort of like disgust?
I think to a certain extent because she has a responsibility to the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mhm.
if everyone knows all of her kids are bastards, then even if her reign is relatively strong, she's going to have major conflict when she goes because
Mm-hmm.
everyone's going to know, you know, those kids aren't true Targaryens. They're 50% bastards.
Mm-hmm.
So she's really putting herself and her own pleasures well beyond you know, the interest of the kingdom. And I
Mhm.
think the other two are all about. I mean, there's self-interest,
Yeah.
but they're much more about. Hey, we'd rather not have this whole kingdom devolve into civil war, and they're
Mm-hmm.
disgusted every time they see brown curly hair.
Yeah.
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 My
I,
my
I
yeah. Go ahead.
I
Go
I
ahead.
I'm actually on right as of now. Okay, I'm kind of a team Allison kind of guy. Because give everything that's transpired. Because
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Allison is really watching out for the kingdom as a whole, like
Mm-hmm.
what Otto instilled on her,
Yeah,
and Kristen Cole. Like, yeah, he transitioned to from being the honorable guard to like. I was so shocked when he said like spoiled cut. Like, whoa, holy shit, holy shit.
I love that part.
Then Allison was like, I was like, okay, sorry, I was out of line. It's like, yeah, you really took that in really badly. So yeah, because Alice was like, people have eyes. People can see that these children are not of. They're not the. As you said, there were bastards. They're not from Lenor clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So this puts us in such a complete. This puts the kingdom in jeopardy. It's like he even said it. She even said it to Viserys like one or two children is fine, but the third one it's pretty much an insult at this
right.
point.
Mm-hmm.
So she's really looking out for the best of the kingdom. Not to mention what we still haven't tackled is Lionor, the Hand of the King. Like
Oh
Hmm.
man.
he cannot already act in the best interests of the kingdom, and yet Viserys probably because he likes Lionor on a personal level, he doesn't want to do the right thing and bring a new Hand of the King. So
Right.
that's why I'm kind of liking where Allison is right now,
Mm-hmm.
considering she's actually acting on the welfare of the kingdom rather than, yeah, she has a personal interest for sure, the same with Kristen Cole, but she's thinking in a more rational way that's for the good of everyone as best as she could. That's why I like Allison and Kristen Cole as of now.
Hmm.
Makes
The
sense.
interesting thing they did from a science perspective, I always go back to reality when my fantasy, is they kind of proved that all the Targaryen features and all that are very recessive genes.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
100% of her kids don't look like they should, then if we pull up Mendel's old experiments, all the stuff that makes a Targaryen is very recessive, which means they're all ridiculously inbred.
Mm-hmm.
Which you kind of see from the insanity and just the horrible way they look. I mean, it almost looks like they have these weird implants on their heads to make their eyebrows jut out and stuff like that to make you just discomfort just looking at them.
Yeah. I definitely do like agree with what you said. It's like you the hand of the king. Yeah, I feel very like sad for him, like bad, is because like he knows he's been put in a tough decision, and the king knows, like I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
he well as no, sure goddamn well knows that, like, I know my grandkids are not Targaryens, but I'm gonna turn a blind eye is because
He'd have to kill his daughter if he
yeah,
admitted
like
it.
yeah, like she's basically doing all these crazy things, and like for me, I'm like, what would you do if you were to hand it to King? He's like, yeah, I formally resigned. He's like, no, you can't. He's like, oh, what the fuck? You know, like what am I supposed to do? And
Well,
then the whole
the
part.
reason he couldn't resign is that's direct double confirmation that his son is doing some really bad things,
Yep.
and it might open the king up to have to, formally question what's going on.
Yeah. And that yeah, he's stuck in a rock and a hard place.
Hmm.
So someone in the chat says they're emphasizing how dedicated and loyal Allison and Kristen Cole has been to their duties and the well-being of the kingdom.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember Kat, she was basically saying how Rhaenyra, it was extremely selfish,
Yeah.
and now it's biting her in the ass. It's just like you got yourself into this, like you wanted to do all these things, and this is what you signed up for, and now you're regretting it. It's like, well, you're already fucked up. Like, you're already fucked up. And yeah, so yeah, so she also says, so I understand why the hate towards Rhaenyra. Yeah, I definitely do not like what's happening with Rhaenyra, but it's the thing that she's so deep already, and she's like, I can't go back now.
Do
Like
you see a possible redemption arc for her?
I think I think there might be a redemption arc, but it doesn't wipe her past like clean, where it's like, okay, I can forgive you for that. I don't think so. It's because on behalf of her, like, it's just we're not sure what's gonna happen. Like, the fact that she knew that she fucked up and she had to flee to Dragonstone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
if ever there is one for her, it's gonna be too late already. That's because the reason why she fled to Dragonstone is not because she wanted to; it's because she was forced to. Because her
She had a lot
power
of
play,
options.
yeah, her power play in the council, it didn't work because Alicent saw right through it. No, you're just trying to put yourself in a better position. That's it. I'm not taking it. So it's like, oh shoot, okay, it's not gonna work. So it's only gonna get worse if I stay here. That's why, not because she really wanted to go to Dragonstone. So as of now, there's still the redemption arc is still not there. It'll only come to that point if she loses all of her power, when she has to beg for mercy. That's
The
how I see it.
the interesting thing with Allison turning down that power play is that power play would have shorn up the kingdom to a certain extent, because then you could have the succession, with her son, in the line of succession with
Yep.
the daughter, I'm sorry, her daughter in succession. So she, we talked about how she's all about the kingdom. That would have actually helped situations. So she's setting up that the only way the kingdom survive is if Rhaenyra's line and Rhaenyra are wiped out.
Yeah.
There's no fallback position other than civil war if that doesn't happen.
Yeah, she, like, I believe Allison is, to be honest, to be honest, like, I agree with Grae. Like, I'm on Team Allison and Kristen Cole right now. It's just, you're doing this just to cover your ass. And the thing is that, just like, once the king dies, like, once Viserys is gone, like shit's about to get out. Like, all the info and stuff like that, saying that your kids are bastards and stuff like that, and it's not the true heir. It's not true, heir to the throne. And we already know that the townsfolk and civilians that live in King's Landing are already like, we shouldn't have a female ruler. We want a king. We don't want a queen. We already have that. And now that you have the fact that, oh, your kids are bastards, it's like, that's even worse, because that's not the rightful heir to the throne. So that's why everyone's like, yeah, we prefer Aegon.
Yeah. Other than the sea snake, does she have any allies at this point? I mean, even hinted at?
I don't think so. I
Yeah, same.
I don't.
Allison has her whole house and all of their allies, because I'm sure, because I don't see Targaryens having allies out of love. It's all
Mhm.
out of fear.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
Allison's family probably has, alliances out of love and stuff like that. It's like, who's gonna back her, when this happens? She has all these negatives, female, they don't want female, I'm fine with it. All bastards as heirs. It's like what would make anyone fight for her side when the Civil War obviously is gonna happen?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Like
Yeah, I imagine the dragons. The dragons will play a big role. Like she's gonna go on a rampage with the dragons, but that's about it for now. Because even Laris is with Allison. He went really to huge extremes to do it.
Yeah. So okay, so I have a question in regards to like the Hand of the King and what happened to him at the end. So we know that the the what's it called again? I forgot his
Littlefinger.
name. What's that?
Littlefinger.
Yeah. So the new Littlefinger basically.
Yeah, Laris.
Yeah. Laris.
How do you
and-
remember all these damn names?
I took notes.
Oh,
It's
okay,
like,
okay.
That's why. That's why.
But we so what's it called again? The Hand of the King has two sons, right? From what I know.
One of them's Littlefinger.
Yeah, one
Mark
of them's
II.
Littlefinger, and the other one is the
Baby
bastard
daddy.
father.
Harwin.
Yeah, Harwin, yes. So they both died at the end of the episode, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
Allison's dad's coming back.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Hand
Yeah.
of the King.
That's some shit's about to go down in King's Landing for sure.
That's why he executed them with the tongueless people, so that Allison's dad can come back, and he made sure that she knew he did it for her, so that he owes her a huge favor now, or she owes him a huge favor now.
I
That was
see.
very well. Basically, if he doesn't get what he wants, he has 3 assassins probably hidden away somewhere. They don't have tongues, but you can teach them how to write, and say, "Oh yeah, this was all Allison." So he's gonna come out. He's doing the Godfather thing. He'll be asking for a favor in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I actually really like that. Like he's literally like the new Littlefinger, but he's more upfront about it a little bit versus Littlefinger. I think Littlefinger is like he's definitely shows like he's like weak, and then he's like, but also like he's doing a lot of like
He was the puppet master.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that a lot, and I haven't seen any of the footage or anything like that, but I'm absolutely looking forward to tomorrow's episode. I'm really loving House of the Dragons. Like
Mhm.
I'm not
Mhm.
I believe we're all on the same boat. Like episode like not episode season 8 didn't cut it, and then we're just like,
Yeah.
you know what? I don't think this is gonna be good.
So you
I-
see the thread through all of this, the stuff we like and don't like.
Mhm.
In Andor and House of the Dragon, things that happen in the show matter. They're not just because we need to fill 5 minutes. If there's a scene happening, if there's an interaction between characters happening, that something's going to come out of it down the road. They actually have an A and a Z on their story plot, and every single thing is pushing them closer to Z. Whereas, the other show just throws shit in there just because, we got a budget and we have some CG artists who can throw some pretty pixels on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that like what like that we didn't get to talk about in this episode?
One thing I want to say is I love the fact they hired Matt Smith as Damon, because he's an evil sociopathic bastard, but because he was the Doctor for so long, I always give him the benefit of the doubt. So it's it's like where there's an evil guy, we just expect the evil. I always expect, oh, he's gonna turn around, just because I have that. I watched him for multiple years being a good guy. So every time he does something really bad, it like really goes right to the heart. So I think for at least me and probably other fans of the other shows, that was just brilliant casting.
Thanks for checking out this segment of the Project Eggroll podcast. If you like what we do here, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you will know next time when we go live. We do go live every Saturday at 8 p.m. Once again, we are just getting started. tons of more video to come. Thanks, and we'll see you guys next time.